Today I'm announcing that my office, the Southern District of New York, has indicted Joe Lewis, the British billionaire, for orchestrating a brazen insider trading scheme. We allege that for years, Joe Lewis abused his access to corporate boardrooms and repeatedly provided inside information to his romantic partners, his personal assistants, his private pilots, and his friends.
Look, if the Southern District of New York is on you, they got something. This isn't just any billionaire, though. Joe Lewis is owner of this. Premier League side, Tottenham Hotspur.
Those folks then traded on that inside information and made millions of dollars in the stock market. Because thanks to Lewis, those bets were a sure thing.
Can y'all keep that same energy with our politicians, please?
None of this was necessary. Joe Lewis is a wealthy man. But as we allege, he used inside information as a way to compensate his employees or to shower gifts on his friends and lovers. That's classic corporate corruption. It's cheating. And it's against the law. Laws that apply to everyone, no matter who you are. That's why Joe Lewis has been indicted and will face justice here in the Southern District of New York. Thank you.
Well, damn. Let's start with this, okay? Joe Lewis has a net worth of $6.1 billion via Forbes. Via Vietnam News, he owns this $150 million super yacht that he parked in Vietnam. It is over 320 feet long and even has a tennis court, huh? With Lewis, like many in the know, it came down to stocks.
Hi, Georgia. It's Kelly Loeffler.
Remember her? Well,
one of the first things they did after they found out just how bad the coronavirus would be during closed-door Senate briefings was sell a huge amount of stock right before the market tanked.
But it's not just Republicans.
In February 2020, some senators got a confidential briefing on COVID, and right afterward, a few of them conveniently dumped hundreds of thousands of dollars of stocks before the pandemic market crash. They were investigated but never charged.
Because that is how the game is played, ladies and gentlemen. For Lewis, he is alleged to have passed on information about companies his investment firm, Tavistock Group, had an interest in, including Solid Biosciences, Australian Agricultural Co., and Mirati Therapeutics, according to Bloomberg. In total, he is charged, get this, with 13 counts of securities fraud, each of which carries a max sentence of 20 years, 3 counts of securities fraud, each of which carries a max sentence of 25 years, and 3 counts of conspiracy, each of which carries a max sentence of 5 years in prison. We heard the term brazen previously in the first part of this video from attorney Damian Williams, working for the Southern District of New York. Via the BBC, the indictment quoted one pilot texting a friend that boss lent Marty and I $500K each for this, and that he thought the boss has inside info because otherwise, why would he make us invest? That group he owns, Tavistock, let's go over it, shall we? If one wanders over to their website, you'd have to scroll to see the locations of Lewis's investments. The total is over 200 companies, some in real estate, some in pubs, others in Tottenham. Tottenham, the usual. In one instance, detailed in the indictment, prosecutors say Lewis got non-public information positive results from a clinical trial by Mirati, an oncology company, via an employee at his hedge fund who sat on Mirati's board. Ooh, that sounds like a conflict of interest, doesn't it? More. Lewis, one of Mirati's biggest shareholders, urged a girlfriend of his 2 private pilots, his executive assistant, a person he was romantically involved with, smooches, and a person he occasionally played poker with in Argentina to buy Mirati stock per the indictment. On top of this, the New York Times reported, which I will read, this. Prosecutors also accused Mr. Lewis of conspiring to hide a roughly 20% stake in Mirati Therapeutics, a pharmaceutical company, through a series of shell companies and false statements to the Securities and Exchange Commission. It's important to note this on the sports side because that's what dragged us all in as sports fans. Lewis ceded official control to Brian Glidden and Katie Booth in October of 2022 with the club. Lastly, the indictment also says that as one of the largest shareholders in Solid Biosciences, Biosciences, Lewis was given confidential info about an upcoming announcement of favorable clinical results. Under advice from Lewis to buy the company's stock before the news became public, his girlfriend and two pilots bought shares, per the indictment. The company's stock went up after the clinical results were released, and the girlfriend made a profit of almost $1 million, a 118% gain, according to the indictment. Lewis's attorneys have said they will fight this tooth and nail and deny that their client did what the indictment alleges. Here's what I will say. This is once again how the game is played. All these billionaires, from pissing in bottles to giving people minimum wage, no health care, no benefits whatsoever, this is how they do it. They attain wealth by taking advantage of people and then having a ton of insider information in order to continue growing their profits. If you're shocked by this, I have a Trump steak to sell you.